As of right now, the OLED is the definitive Nintendo Switch console. It has a better screen and bigger battery than any other version of the console, so if you want to switch, it's hands down the best version to have. Thing is, my favorite's always been the Switch Lite. Sure, it doesn't have a kickstand, removable Joy-Cons, or rumble, but I think it more than makes up for that with its form factor. Its size makes it easily pocketable, making it an actual handheld, and if you held one, you know that it invokes the feelings of a DS or a Game Boy. It also feels like a much more solid device than the standard Switch. No matter how good your Joy-Cons are, there's always going to be a bit of wiggle to it. Since the Lite is a solid one-piece system, that wiggle isn't there, making the device feel way sturdier. I would never trust a child with a Switch, but I feel like a Switch Lite might survive. I admittedly just really love the Lite. Unfortunately, it just doesn't do what the Switch is known for. It can't switch! It's just a handheld. Even though I love the Lite as a portable device, it's still outclassed by the OLED because of its screen and its battery life. Because of that, there's not much reason to own a Switch Lite if you can afford the OLED. What if we could fix that though? If the Switch Lite had an OLED screen, it would be the best Switch for handheld play, hands down, especially if we could boost its battery life too. At that point, the only advantage that the OLED model would have is its ability for TV play. Well, Taki Udon and the team at RetroRemake have made this what if into a reality. For the past few months, Taki has been tweeting about his experiments with adding an OLED screen to the Switch Lite, and all of that experimenting has paid off with the product ready to ship this year. RetroRemake is taking pre-orders for the Super 5 OLED screen for the Switch Lite, and not only is it better than the Switch Lite's screen, it's arguably better than the Switch OLED screen as well. Now, I'm no professional, so I don't know what all these numbers mean, but look at this chart. The Switch OLED has 340 nits of brightness, an sRGB range of 130%, and a contrast ratio of 340,000 to 1. The Super 5 OLED screen for the Switch Lite has 600 nits of brightness, an sRGB range of 150%, and a 600,000 to 1 contrast ratio. The numbers on this screen are bigger, so they must be better. With this installed, the Switch Lite can become the Switch with the best screen. The Super 5 OLED screens are set to ship in October, but there's a catch. This upgrade removes the digitizer, meaning that your Switch Lite won't respond to touch anymore. While I can't think of any games that require touch that I regularly play, I'm sure there are some players that would miss it. If you're patient and still want to touch your Switch, there are some options for you. While it's sold out fast, there is a version of the screen compatible with the Switch Lite's digitizer. There's also a version of the OLED screen that includes touch and isn't a bring your own digitizer sort of situation as well. Both ship in November, but they don't come in as many colors as the basic screen, just black and white bezeled versions. So you can get the Switch Lite to have an OLED screen, making it the best way to play handheld. Thing is, it can't be used for TV play, so it's not the all-in-one solution like the Switch OLED. Oh wait, what? Looks like RetroRemake didn't stop there. They've also got kits to add HDMI output to the Switch Lite as well. As of right now, not too much info has been shared on this, other than that the solution won't require soldering or case mods. This sounds almost too good to be true, since the Switch Lite doesn't currently have the hardware to support HDMI out. These kits don't ship until November, and the R² team hasn't really shared how this will work yet, so there's a bit of mystery around it. Will it work through the USB-C port? Will there be an HDMI port added in one of the console's other openings? I guess we'll find out. What we do know about this upgrade is that it's just mirroring the Switch Lite's screen to an external HDMI source at 1080p. You're not going to see any of the performance boosts that dock mode offers when you dock your Lite. You just see your handheld screen blown up on a bigger screen. That said, the fact that this will work at all is amazing to me. Not settling on just adding OLED and HDMI to the Switch, RetroRemake has also created a mega kit, offering a brand new Switch Lite with the screen and HDMI mod already built in. All you need to do is put your Switch Lite's motherboard and cooling system in. This kit also adds a new battery for the Switch Lite. While it's not confirmed what size it'll likely be larger than the stock 3570 mAh battery, but it could be as large as 5000 mAh, which is larger than the Switch OLED's battery. This concept seems super cool to me, so I've pre-ordered the Mega Kit so I can make my Switch Lite my daily driver for gaming instead of my OLED. I was so thrilled about getting to tinker with some handhelds that I even ordered the screen replacement that ships in October so I could try it out as soon as possible. When I get these, I'll definitely be making more content about installing these mod kits and sharing how they perform. I might even build them live on Twitch. Who knows? I'll put the link in my description just in case. Either way, what Taki and the RetroRemake team have been cooking is super cool. I'll keep you posted on how all of this shakes out when the upgrades launch, but in the meantime, feel free to stick around my channel. I make controller reviews, game reviews, and video essays about stupid stuff that I love, and maybe you'll like these little videos too. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.